Hey guys, it's me. I'm back with another Doctor Who review. And wow, just wow. This episode was, I don't know how else to say it, but wow. Okay, like Sleep No More, this was a different kind of episode, so this will be slightly different review. But basically, we open up on the Doctor. He is just arriving from being teleported. He looks around him, he sees dust, he sees the word bird written in the dust or sand or whatever that was, and he sees a skull, I think. But anyway, so he goes about his thing, and then he goes to looking where he is. He's kind of in this moving castle type thing. And he realizes that he's being chased, but he's being chased by a manifestation of one of his earliest childhood scares. And there's TVs all over the place that are hooked up to a camera that's hooked up to the thing chasing him, known only as the Veil, which never talks, by the way. And so you see the Doctor going through several clues while being chased by this thing. Oh yeah, meanwhile, he's in these positions where he thinks he's about to die. His brain slows down. We enter his brain where he's in the TARDIS talking to, I guess you could say, a ghost of Clara, or the manifestation of Clara in his mind. And she helps him get out of these jams. And so he follows the clues, realizes that he's in a trap. It's an ever-moving trap meant for torture. Then he realizes that it's torture meant for him. Then he realizes that he gets the ceiling, gets on top of the castle, realizes stars are moving. How can that be? I Unless they're different than how they were before I teleported. So have I time traveled as well? My body feels like it's time traveled. And then we see him. Somewhere along the line, I was wrong. He picks up a skull. Well, then he places the skull on a ledge, and when he solves the next puzzle, the skull falls to the ground. We then follow him, and he realizes that this has all been a trap set for him. Oh yeah, and the veil, the only thing that stops it is when he confesses something deep. Like that he knows that the hybrid exists and where it is. You remember the hybrid? Hinted in episode 1 of this season, and vague mentions to a hybrid throughout, including with Maisie Williams' character. And so he then follows the breadcrumbs, and it leads him to this like diamond-esque wall, but it was something like Pentium, or Pentium's not the word, but it was something like that, where it's an alien mineral that's like, I think he said something like 100 times more hard and tough than diamond, which is the toughest human mineral. I mean, in case you didn't know, diamond is so tough that the only way that they can cut diamond is with another diamond. So anyway, he starts to give up, passes down, goes into the TARDIS, and he's like, "Why does this always happen to me? Why is it me?" He starts to unravel. Then the manifestation of Clara, which I now, at this point, believe that this isn't just his mind manifestation of Clara. It might be a remnant of Clara in his timeline. Maybe. Or it maybe just might be his mind's version of Clara. But she actually speaks and comes to him, and we actually get to see Jenna Coleman. Because previous it was just saw the back of her head and writings on the chalkboard. Now we actually get to see her in a scene that I don't know if they meant it to be that way, but for me, it was very reminiscent of the last scene of Matt Smith before he regenerated, where he saw Amy one last time. And she told him to rest, Raggedy Man. But instead, she doesn't say rest, she says don't give up, win, think of something. And so we see him start punching the mineral wall. It hurts like hell, but he's doing it. He does about 3 times, recites a poem, and then he gets burned by the veil. Well, then he's passed out on the floor, and he starts to put things together. He hasn't been time traveling. The reason why the stars up in the sky have changed and it seems like he's time traveled is because he's been there for 700 years. And I didn't mention this before, but when he jumped into the water, there was just endless skulls on the bottom. And we find out that all those skulls were his, because remember when I said he drops the skull into the water? That kept happening over and over and over until all of his skulls were on the bottom of the ground, enough for him to see. And that means that is all the times that he has died in this maze type thing. And also, we see a montage of him going through the motion and doing it, right to where he gets to be about, I think they said 20 million, or I think it might have been all the way up to 1 billion. The poem thing that he recites, it starts changing, and we see the wall is incaving. It is starting to wear down, and we realize, holy crap, this has been his plan the whole entire time. To repeat the process over and over and over. Break down that wall until he reaches the end, which he does. And before I say what's at the end, I have to go back because I remembered I forgot to tell you how he came back. He came back because he drags himself from the point where he's supposed to be dying, and he drags himself to the teleport chamber And apparently in this universe, teleporters are kind of like 3D printers where they save the data. So he can reprint the data, which means reprint himself over and over and over. It's just the thing that requires him to do it is energy, and the only energy that he has is himself. So he ends up shocking himself over and over and over. Well, for those that might not know, Time Lords, the only thing that can kill them is if both their hearts go out at the same time. Shocking will take out both hearts. So, it starts over and over. Well, going forward, back to what I was saying, when he punches through the wall, he realizes, and you start to, it starts clicking in your head something. Well, then you see a little kid, because he's on an alien planet. Oh, and we find out that the last will, the thing teased all the way back in the precursor for the season, his little last will and testament thing, was the maze. That's what it was. And we find out that someone put him there. Well, then we see him talk to the little kid who runs up to him. And basically he just says, tell them I made it and that I'm coming for them. And if they ask who it is, just say he took the long way round. Whoa. Which, by the way, long way round meant like, I think it was 2 or maybe even more billion years of him repeating that cycle. And then we pan over to the city nearby. And we find out that the planet is Gallifrey. Wow. And the people doing this to him were the Gallifreyans. And if you remember in my last Doctor Who video, I kind of predicted this. I mean, I totally blanked on his name and said that it was Rassilon who's behind the whole thing. But time will tell if it's actually him or not. But we know for a matter of fact that it is the Time Lords who are doing this to him, the Time Lord higher-ups. Because we then find out that the prophecy is that the hybrid, which is supposed to be half Time Lord, half Dalek, will take over Gallifrey and rule Gallifrey. Well, then the Doctor says, I'm saying this, I know you can hear me still, but yeah, no. The hybrid is kind of a myth because nothing can be half Dalek. The thing in the prophecy that's talking about taking over Gallifrey is me, the Doctor. Whoa. Damn. Except that we're getting the Doctor versus the Time Lords. Holy crap. Because you gotta keep in mind, they not only put him through billions of years of hell, they, even though they didn't pull the trigger themselves, They orchestrated events that led up to Clara's death, which the doctor semi-suspects that they knew that. Oh boy. I can't wait for next week because the because it's gonna be the Doctor versus the Time Lords. Plus, we still have yet to see that scene with Jenna Coleman, where she's in the '50s waitress outfit, and we don't even know if that is Clara or not. And we don't know how that factors into it, but we have seen from another still that that might be the same diner from the, what was it called? The Impossible Astronaut episode of Doctor Who, which featured the silence. Wow. And I know I'm going long, and I'm sorry for that, but this episode just. I just want to say one last thing. Moffat has come out in an interview and said that this was his original plan for Clara leaving, which might indicate why this season has been pretty on point, but still felt a little filler-ish at times. And also that he's hinting, he hasn't come out and said it outright, but he's hinting that it will be his and Capaldi's last season, which I'd be okay with. Get some new blood behind the camera and in front of it. I'd be alright with it. I just hope that they keep the companion who joins next season, whoever he, she may be, and they don't just try to do a hard reboot like the rumor says. But anyway, he said that he's hinting that this is his last. Season 10 will be his last season. So he's pulling out all the stops. Hence why season 8 ended with the return of the Master and the Cybermen, and then the season 9 premiere did a semi-team up with Missy, who is the Master, and we had the return of Davros, and we had a whole city of Daleks. Anyway, holy crap, I've been going for almost 20 minutes. Sorry about that. This episode. Wow. Damn. Anyway, see you guys next time. Till then, see ya. Bye.